we're almost like micromanaging our manifestations. And we're asking ourselves as we're digging up these seeds, why isn't this working yet? When in reality, what needs to happen is you plant the seed and you know you've already planted the seed. So you must trust that it is going to grow. And also make sure you plant the correct seed, right? Don't plant a lemon tree expecting to have mangoes or avocados. So know that the thoughts you think, the actions you take, and the energy that you hold is what's going to lead to the manifestation that you create. Welcome to the Chingona Revolution podcast, where we will bring out your inner badass Latina, overcome self-doubt, help you gain clarity, and pave your own path, all while leading with courage. I am your host, Latina coach and speaker, Erica Cruz. Hello, friends. Welcome back to this week's episode of Chingona Revolution podcast. Happy 2026. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode where we talked all about vision boards and how to ensure that vision boards work for you. This week, I want to talk to you all about how to keep going even when it seems like something might not be working. So maybe you have decided that you want to really make fitness your priority this year. And maybe you're not seeing signs of the results that you want just yet. Or maybe you've decided that you are going to create content and you've been putting it out imperfectly and getting it done, but maybe you are not seeing the result that you want. Or perhaps you have been working hard, updating your resume and applying to jobs, and you're not seeing the results that you want. I think a lot of us are attempting new things right now because of New Year's resolutions, because of the new year. It just kind of this phase of new beginnings. It's Capricorn season, all of the different reasons why we naturally feel like, okay, rebirth, new beginning. Amazon Prime has really messed us up because, and so have microwaves, right? Everything in today's day is instant. You can order something on Amazon Prime. I ordered something last night and I got it today. You can walk over to a microwave and warm up your coffee within a few seconds, right? 30 seconds and you got a hot coffee again, assuming it wasn't cold. And we are used to this convenient and instant life that when we are working towards bigger goals, we almost have forgotten the time things can take. Not even time with like, oh, it's going to take you forever, but it takes time to start to build momentum, to start to get better, to get the reps in. And from a neuroscience perspective, the more we do something, the more it becomes embedded in our brain. It's almost like, whenever if you have a door code for your house or maybe an alarm code or anything that kind of requires a code, your body almost knows it better than your mind. Like you don't consciously think about it anymore, but that happens with time. It's almost like salsa dancing, right? With salsa dancing. I've been dancing salsa for a couple of years now, so I don't even think about the basics. Sometimes when they explain it to me intellectually, I'm like, I don't even get it. Let me just move my body and see if it happens, and then I'll do it. And my body already knew what to do, but it's because I've been practicing for 2 years. Yet on Sundays, the class I typically go to, there are a lot of beginners, and I see the same thing over and over. They are using their brain to think about it really heavily because it's not a habit just yet. They're looking down at their feet. They can't multitask. They can't, look at their feet and do the counts and also think about what the routine is. And whenever we're doing something new, we're like those beginning salsa dancers. We just haven't created those connections in the brain yet where it becomes automatic. Just like when we're driving, that is automatic now. If you've been driving for more than a year, driving for you, do you ever notice like you get somewhere and you're like, wait, how did I get here? That's because it becomes automatic to the brain. But when we're doing something new, it's not going to be automatic. And yet we're expecting these instant results, the way that Amazon Prime works and the way that our microwave works and the way that we can just go to ChatGPT and kind of research anything and get results instantly. And that's not the same for building skills, for changing habits, for completely revamping your lifestyle. All of this is going to take some effort, some consistency, and you're going to fall along the way, and that's okay, as long as you get back up. I was talking to a client earlier today who was she has a business. She was selling her offer and she was feeling really defeated by her offer because it didn't sell the way that she wanted. And I really had to sit there and ask, okay, I understand that this is what's happening, but how many times did you actually make the offer for this thing that you were selling? How many times did you talk about it online? How many emails did you send? How much action did you really take versus how much were you overthinking it? And there's nothing wrong with us thinking about our desires and thinking about the things we want to do. But once we really looked at the amount of action she took, she really only talked about it 2 or 3 times and then didn't stay with it. And after we then gave her some coaching, gave her some feedback, I pretty much shared what I'm going to be sharing in this episode. She started to consistently talk about this offer. And guess what? It sold. So before we tell ourselves that something isn't working, I want to pose a question to you. Are you really trying? And have you tried all the different ways? Have you gotten creative? Have you worked on your mindset? Have you worked on the actions that you're taking? We can be so quick to dismiss something because we don't immediately see the results, but yet we know we want this thing. And this is more from like a manifestation perspective, but the results that you are seeing right now are not a result of what you're currently doing. They're a result of your past thoughts, of your past patterns, and of your past energy. On this podcast, I've talked about manifestation as planting seeds. So imagine that you are a farmer, okay? And you are planting seeds for all the different things that you want in your life. And let's say that you plant something, but yet you're super impatient about it. You're like, where is it? So that's pretty much like you planting a seed and then you're digging up the seed every hour to see if it's grown yet. And what happens when you do that? Well, you're almost cutting the roots every time. You're not even letting the seed grow. And a lot of us who are like, why isn't this working yet? This is how we look. We're almost like micromanaging our manifestations. And we're asking ourselves as we're digging up these seeds, why isn't this working yet? When in reality, what needs to happen is you plant the seed and you know you've already planted the seed. So you must trust that it is going to grow. And also make sure you plant the correct seed, right? Don't plant a lemon tree expecting to have mangoes or avocados. So know that the thoughts you think, the actions you take, and the energy that you hold is what's going to lead to the manifestation that you create. So if you're thinking thoughts of lack, and not feeling good enough and comparing yourself to other people, that is what you're manifesting. You're not manifesting abundance and love and all of these different things. When you plant a seed, trust that you've planted it, but now your job is to water it, to nurture it, to protect it from weeds. Weeds are like our negative thoughts here, even when you don't see anything just yet, because your reality is almost like this delayed feedback. You're currently seeing your past manifestations, not your current ones. And I think fitness is the easiest way to see this. You can work out consistently for a week and, maybe you'll see some results. Maybe you'll start to feel differently, but it's not, depending on where you started, it's not going to be night and day. You're not going to lose all of the weight that you want to lose. You're not going to build all of the muscle that you want to build. You're not going to master your nutrition in a week. Yet this is the expectation that we put on ourselves sometimes. Amiga, I hope you're enjoying the show. We are going to get right back to today's episode, but I just had to drop in and check with you. How are you feeling? How are things going? If you find yourself frustrated or maybe shaming yourself because you have not taken the action that you wanted to take. Maybe you are just tired of starting and stopping or overthinking or worrying about what your coworkers are going to think about you or your family members are going to think about you if you finally start that project that you've been wanting to start. I just want you to know that I see you. I feel you. I overthought starting my Instagram page for 2 years before I actually started it. So I get it. I totally understand. And if you find yourself in this position where you know that you want to make 2024 your year and you're ready to stop procrastinating and start taking action, then I invite you to Courage Driven Latina. Courage Driven Latina is my signature program where you will legit change your life in 90 days because we are going to help you take action on a courage project in 90 days. I also recently introduced the Courage Project Paths, which I'm so excited about. So you essentially get to pick the path that you want to work on, and you can work on more than one path because the program is now 12 months, right? But we recommend one path at a time. And I'm so excited about these paths because we have a confidence courage project path. So if you want to speak up in your relationships or maybe speak up at work, this would be the perfect path for you. Or if you just want to establish more self-trust. The second path we have is the content creation courage project path. So this is perfect for you if you want to create an Instagram page, a TikTok account, or perhaps you are ready to launch your own podcast. We even have a whole podcast course inside of Courage Driven Latina. The third path is the career courage project path. So if you know that you want to be at the director level or the VP level, or maybe you're ready to change your job to a different job, then this would be the perfect path for you. Maybe you're like, you know what, entrepreneurship is cool, but it's not really for me. I really want to be a boss ass mommy. Then this is going to be the path for you. And last but not least, we have the Chingona CEO path. So if you know that you want to be an entrepreneur and you know you want to start your business, whether it's a coaching business or a physical business, if you want to sell a product, then this is the perfect path for you. Again, because this program is now 12 months, you can work on more than one path. Join the waitlist for Courage Driven Latina by going to the link down below in the show notes, because when you join the waitlist, you are going to be the first to know when we open doors, and you may even get some early access. So ensure that you join the waitlist. I cannot wait to work with you. We have some incredible women in this program, and the fact that it's now a year long, we've already seen so much transformation. I can't wait to work with you. Let's get back to the show, and don't forget to join the waitlist. So remember that you are a farmer. Remember that you are intentional with the seeds that you plant. Remember that removing weeds is like removing negative thoughts. And if I was really going to get manifestation-y here with you, the thoughts we think and the feelings that we feel are what make up our vibe, our vibration, our vibe. And that's what leads to your manifestations. So giving your seeds some sun is like giving it the intentional thoughts, and then giving them water is like feeling the feeling. So what does that mean? That means think about what it is that you want to create, feel the feeling of already having it, almost like ask yourself, what would the version of me do who already is running the business of my dreams, who already has the job of my dreams, who already has reached the goals that I want to reach, and then act as that person. But what's happening right now is you're all looking at the crops that are in front of you, which are seeds that you planted last quarter. And you're like, oh my gosh, this isn't working. And thinking about it in this metaphor, I think makes it a lot easier. So in summary, trust you've planted the seeds, water your seeds, give them sun, remove the weeds, and keep going. If you remember my episode on the BFF method, which is my manifestation framework, the first F is forget reality. And this is exactly what I'm talking about here. We have to forget what is right now, because what is old news. And I do want to acknowledge that this in-between stage where we're not visibly seeing anything yet, it can make us question if it's going to work. It is the most emotionally uncomfortable place to be in. You are putting in the work, but you're not seeing the proof yet. And what happens is then the mind wants to default to it's not working or something needs to change. And then we change the goal, but we never even gave this goal a chance. This is what I was speaking about earlier. It's almost like, let's say that you want to land a new job and you're looking at all of these jobs, but you really only applied to one or two jobs in the month and you only gave it a month. And now you're saying it's not working. This is an example of, one, you haven't really given it enough time. And two, have you really put in all the effort that you could put in? Like if we were to get creative here and think about it, can you reach out to people on LinkedIn? Can you reach out to past people that you've worked with regarding referrals? Can you start building your brand so that you can start to connect with recruiters so that can you start posting on LinkedIn so that you can stand out against other applicants? There's so many things that you can do. Can you work with a career coach? What is it that you can do to support you along this route? Let's say that your thing is posting content and you've started to post some content, but you are getting a few likes and you're like, oh, this isn't working because I'm not at the stage of that other person who's been doing this for 10 years and has a team helping them. You'd be surprised how many clients I have that compare themselves to content creators that have legit content teams. I'm like, you realize they didn't start that way, right? You realize 10 years ago, their videos are probably looking crappier than yours look today. So if you're not seeing the results that you are looking for there, are you trying all different things? Can you get creative with your content style? Can you look at what hooks you're using? Are they even calling people in? Social media has changed so much over the last few years to more of interest-based content, meaning that you're not just following your friends, you're literally, the algorithm is pushing things to you that you are the most interested in. So your content can't just be like, assume everybody knows who you are. At this point, it has to stand out. You have to have very strong hooks. You have to appeal to not just people who are your friends and who are your followers, but the goal is to expand your reach because that is what the algorithm favors. So have you really tried all the different things? And if you are looking to create content or build your brand either for your career or for your business, then I highly recommend downloading my Manifest Your Marca Bot, which is a personal brand discovery tool specifically for Latinas who are ready to be seen. So I'll link that down below. And then if you want to work with me one-on-one, I just have a couple of spots left for my personal branding intensive. So I'll leave the link to that down below as well. Okay, back to, are you really giving it your all? Are you really trying and getting creative? So let's say that you have a business and you're looking to make a certain amount of sales, but yet you're only making an offer, just like my client example from earlier, you're only making an offer once a week. Is that really trying? So ask yourself, regardless of what your goal is, have I tried everything I can? Have I reached out to past clients? Have I posted on social media? Have I sent emails? Have I cleaned the weeds from my garden? Have I cleared my negative thoughts from my brain? Have I coached myself? Have I overcome my self-doubt? These are all things that you can ask yourself, because the truth is, while this is the most difficult part, this is also where most people give up right before the growth becomes visible, because things are definitely happening behind the scenes. Let's say that you are posting content. It could be resonating with a lot of people and maybe they just haven't said anything to you yet. A lot of my clients, when they start creating content, they feel like nothing's happening until they go to a family gathering or they see their friends. And then somebody in person says, oh my gosh, I've been loving your content. And they're like, I had no idea. Or before you hear back for a job interview, I mean, they're reviewing your resume. You never know what is happening behind the scenes. So if you give up too soon, you could be giving up before your big breakthrough. Remember, the darkest time of the night is right before dawn, right before the sun comes up. So literally the darkest point happens and then it gets lighter. And that's the same with our progress, with our goals. It can feel really dark, but if we keep going, we will see light at the end of the tunnel. And of course, there are situations in which, okay, that's not the right thing. Let me pivot somewhere else. But if you just keep starting things and giving up and not really giving it a chance, you're not allowing that path to lead you to maybe another path. Think about like a hiking trail. Imagine like you start off on one trail and then another one presents itself. Well, you couldn't have gotten there without taking the initial route. And that's kind of how it is with our goals and with our dreams sometimes. You must take a specific direction, and that can lead you to a whole other direction. Yes, there's changes. Yes, we can pivot on our goals. Yes, we can try something and then it doesn't work out. But if you don't even give yourself the chance, you won't even allow yourself to pivot and to change directions. You'll just keep thinking, oh man, is that the right thing or is it not? All right, friends. Well, this was a short little episode to recap. Look at your goal. Be very intentional with why you chose your goal. And then ask yourself, if you feel like things aren't working, have I actually tried everything I can to make this work? Remind yourself that the darkest time of the night is right before dawn. So if it feels like you're in the darkest point, how can you keep going? Because remember, the seeds that you are currently planting will not be visible just yet. But if you stick with it, they will. Remember that this is the stage where most people give up. If you keep going, either this is going to work out or it's going to lead you to a different place. And all of this leads to clarity. And clarity is really what we all want in life, right? And if you know that you want to build your personal brand, work on being visible, then I do recommend downloading my Manifest Your Marca bot, which again, we will link down below. But that's it, y'all. Most people give up on their resolutions by February. I want to say like 80%. So I hope this podcast episode supports you with continuing to keep going, even when it feels difficult. Trust me, I get it. I still want to give up on different projects and things that I have going on. This work never ends. But if I've learned anything, it's that when you can stick with it and really be honest with yourself and ask yourself, have I tried everything that I can? You can surprise yourself. Something that you maybe were about to give up on can completely change your life. Okay, friends, have a great rest of your week. Thank you for spending some time with me, and I'll see you on next week's podcast episode. Thank you so much for joining me this week. Make sure to visit theericacruz.com. That's Erica with a K, where you can subscribe to the show so you'll never miss an episode. You can help this podcast grow by supporting me with an Apple Podcast rate and review. If you took anything away from this episode, I invite you to take a screenshot and share it on social media so that your favorite badass Latinas can also check it out. Be sure to tag me at the Erica Cruz. That's Erica with a K, because you know I want to see it. If you're ready to join the revolution and be a part of the Courage Driven Latina community, visit couragedrivenlatina.com to get more information and join the waitlist. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week.